Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all well. For those of you that are new to Soul Embers, my name is Andrea. I'm an intuitive tarot reader, coach, counsellor, and I practice alternative medicine. And of course, welcome back to all my existing subscribers. I am so very grateful for your continued support. You guys keep this channel going, and I appreciate that. Gemini, today I'm going to deliver the strongest message. I'm going to let the cards fall as they may, and yeah, just see what the energy is like for you this week and in which direction you're being guided. But before we jump into it, I'd really like to share something with you. I'm in the process of preparing for a discussion group that I'll be hosting, and as I was getting everything together and I was preparing the content for it, I felt really called to share a portion of that with you. And it's about acceptance, it's about inner conflicts and our contradictions that we face within us, right? I'm hoping that by sharing it with you, you can enter this reading today with a different type of a perspective. Hopefully it can trigger a different response that might have a more beneficial outcome for you, right? So let me read it to you. Okay. Like everyone else, my life is filled with contradiction. I support and respect traditional therapy and pharmaceuticals and equally believe in the extraordinary healing power within our natural environment. I support science-backed research and studies and equally believe in unfounded concepts relating to the profound power of our thoughts, energy, vibration, and the universal essence of life known as spirit, which connects all living organisms and animates us into existence. Mao Zedong, a Chinese leader and founder of the People's Republic of China, described existence as constant transformation and contradiction. Freud and other great minds of our time support similar concepts relating to this paradox of human nature. I am no stranger to contradicting thoughts and emotions. However, I have learned to accept my contradictions. I don't suppress, oppress, judge, shame, guilt, or resist them anymore, because this approach caused nothing but pain, poor health, self-doubt, self-sabotage, a victim mentality, a lack of progress, and unhealthy relationships. I now run my inner world more like a democracy and less like a dictatorship. I choose the perspectives, thoughts, and actions I engage in and give my energy and time to. I gained more control of my life by releasing control of myself. And this is yet another contradiction, right? In summary, we're constantly changing, impacted by our environment and those around us. And our contradictions keep us in check. They call us to clarify what matters most, what we want, what we value, and where we invest our energy. The internal discussion they generate offers freedom of choice and an opportunity to live with intention. So as we go into today's reading, I call you to consider, how are you treating the different aspects of yourself? Are you, criticizing, judging, suppressing? Are you ignoring them? Are you running your inner world more like a democracy or more like a dictatorship? And how can you allow those parts of you that you are so critical of to take more space? Because by leaning into them, you're taking the edge off that intense contradiction and inner conflict. You stop feeding it as much. We're sometimes really drawn towards something, someone, an idea, whatever it is, we're really drawn. We feel that passion pull us in, and then our critical mind jumps in and gives us all these scenarios as to why it may not work and why it may work. And that automatically starts us, it automatically triggers our defenses, a need for us to protect ourselves. We recall the lessons that we've learned, the lessons that we've learned from some, really unfavorable experiences. So, and the more we suppress and ignore and criticize and dictate, and all of that stuff, the louder this critical mind gets, the more the inner conflict grows. So hopefully today, as we go through today's reading, I'm able to offer you some guidance, and with what I've just shared with you, a different perspective on how we deal with our contradictions. You know, when you really feel that desire and the pull and the critical mind steps in, how you can treat it more like a discussion of compromise rather than, you know, becoming super, super critical of it. I'm just going to leave it there now and jump into the reading. Okay, Gemini, let's have a look and see. Let me have a sip of my coffee first. What is the most powerful message this week for the Geminis that I'm connecting with? And you know, guys, if you feel comfortable, please do share in the comment section what are some of those contradictions. What is one of those contradictions that within yourself that creates so much inner conflict, and you'd really like to shift out of that? You know, you'd really like to harmonize that within you. And what are some steps that you've taken that have been successful, but you may not have been able to maintain? You know, you might find yourself slipping again. Still, I'd like to know. Please do share. Your comments help me connect with your energy, and they really do determine the kind of readings I bring to you in the future based on what you comment. Okay, Gemini, what is going on? What is blossoming? I love it. What a great way to start your reading today. Love it. Blossoming. Is that what's happening here? Okay, so here's what I'm getting. But before I jump into it, I'll hold the card up for you to see. Hopefully the light isn't reflecting too badly off that. Let's focus in on the card. So, you know, Gemini, it seems like, you know, there was an idea. There was an idea that came to you out of nowhere. And this can have to do with your, you know, a dream or a goal for your own personal development or for your own sense of fulfillment, right? Within your immediate world. It could have to do with your career, you know, a different approach that really helps you level up. It can even have to do with a relationship. So apply it wherever it suits you or wherever it resonates. But it seems like you came up with this approach. It's almost like a light bulb moment. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, how can I not have thought about this? You know, why have I been doing things in that way for so long? Let me try this approach. Oh my gosh, it all makes sense now. It's like the penny dropped. So you may have found yourself cycling, repeating certain things, finding, you know, a lot of resistance in a situation, and then something was said, you saw something, you read something, and you know when it just hits in the right way. You know when, for example, you read a quote and it resonates, and then one day it's worded so different, it gives complete language to what you're experiencing, and it finally makes the penny drop. It just puts everything just clicks into place. This is what it feels like has happened here. You've had one of those moments, or you're about to experience one of those moments. So if you're in a situation, or were in a situation where you just couldn't pull everything, couldn't draw everything in to kind of connect them so that you can kind of move forward without a lot of block, without a lot of resistance, you know, this you're about to make headway. Okay, you're about to actually, the dam is gonna, you're about to make headway basically, right? So let me draw out a couple more cards for you, Gemini, and have a look and see, what is this about? take a deeper look at this. There is still some, I guess, it's almost like it feels right. You're very much drawn to this, and your mind is in support of it. Like, you're moving forward really comfortably. That's the right word. Things just seem right in this situation with this approach. So let's have a look and see. Yeah. And I'm also getting, I'm also getting that it took you quite some time. I'm not surprised that these cards fell out, actually. Yeah, it took you some time. You were waiting. You knew that there was a decision that needed to be made. The Two of Wands. You knew that there was a decision that needed to be made. You ruminated over this. You were back and forwards about it. You did not know what to do. You were, okay, this seems like you walked away from a really... you walked away from a situation that was actually very, very heartbreaking, very disappointed. You know what I mean? You put a lot of energy, you put a lot of time into this situation. You were left feeling extremely unfulfilled, completely empty, and you left, I would say, feeling really depressed about life in that moment. You know what I mean? This could be something that you're experiencing right now. But what I'm getting for you, Gemini, is that this was something that you were anticipating. You may have been the one that made this decision. I feel that despite all your disappointment and despite all the loss and the grief that you feel, that you have felt in the lead up to this loss that you were anticipating was coming as a result of making this decision, you knew that it was the right thing for you. And you were, holding off on this, you were maintaining your hope. And so even though you were in complete control of it, and it was your decision, it doesn't make it any easier, it takes a lot of courage, Gemini, to step away from a situation that, we develop dreams for our future in, you know what I mean? We include this in our future. We see it as something that brings us joy and fulfillment and happiness. And we build our world around the idea of what this can bring. And so when you decided to step away from this, I'm getting that it's not just about losing the person, it's about the person or the career, the business, whatever it is. I do feel this is more of an intimate thing though. You lost, that dream came crashing down too. And even so, it was a decision you made because the relationship, the career, or whatever it was, it just wasn't progressing. It wasn't developing. It wasn't developing or taking the steps that took you in the direction. In fact, it was going quite the opposite. So you're either currently or have been going through a great sense of loss. Loss of your time, loss of your energy, loss of your comfort, loss of, a person or a team, if it's got to do with a career or a business, loss of finances. It could even have to, but most importantly, it has to do with loss of this dream. And now it just now it feels like, or it felt like, what you really, really envisioned is completely out of reach. And the disappointment just grew. And I'm getting a lot of negative self-talk as well here, Gemini, about, whether or not this is for you. But despite all of that, despite how down and how hurt and how painful this was for you, and the losses that you have experienced that have caused this void, it essentially, what I'm seeing here is that you have taken out, I want you to imagine, this is what I'm envisioning. I want you to imagine a pot full of, it's got a plant in there, and the plant is dead, okay? But it's filled the pot. That's all that's in this pot, this dead plant. What you've done is you've cleared that away. You know, you've not pruned it, you've ripped it out. And so there is now this empty pot. There is nothing in there. You know, there is nothing, it's just emptiness. But the great thing about that is you have an opportunity to do whatever you want now within that pot. You can plant any seed you want. You can grow any plant you want. And that's the beauty of that. Does not make the process any easier. But here's the thing. This has been holding you back, and this is why you've made this decision. So this week, Gemini, I'm guided to tell you that if you can engage in some visualization about this pot, call it what you want, you know, whatever it is, that you are pruning, that you are ripping out the dead roots, the dead plant, and make that, you know, liken that to your experience. It is painful. You know, you nurtured that plant, let's say, you loved it, you fertilized those seeds, and yet nothing came of that. Clear them away, and then think about, what are those seeds you want to plant? What do you want to see blossoming in there? Just visualize it, you know, just dream about it. And then what I would recommend could be really helpful this week is just thinking about the reasons. Take yourself back to the reasons this was not working, let's say, and then, you know, counteract that. It wasn't working for this reason because I wanted to achieve this. It wasn't working for this reason because I wanted to gain this from it. And then what will happen is it'll kind of balance out that conflict that you feel within you. Guys, I hope you found that helpful. Sending you lots of healing energy and thoughts your way if you're going through a difficult time right now. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, guys. It really does help me. I'm trying to grow the channel. So yeah, have a great week, and I will see you for your next lot of readings. Bye.